What's up, y'all? This is Mitch from Upright Health, and in this video we're going to talk about releasing tight, sensitive, stiff hamstrings. If you are this person who has very sensitive hamstrings, it's likely very disruptive in your day-to-day life. Probably gives you pain or discomfort just moving around throughout your day. And maybe you've tried to stretch your hamstrings before, maybe you haven't. In this video, I'm gonna give you a few exercises that will help you unlock your hamstrings. And first, I'm gonna have you do an assessment on yourself to figure out and target which areas of your hamstrings need the most work. So first, let's hop into the assessment. You're gonna need a yoga strap or a belt for this, and you're just gonna wrap it around one foot, lay back, keeping the other foot pushed into the ground. We're gonna pull this leg up, and you're gonna keep the knee locked as you do so, and you're pulling just as high as that leg will go. Let's say I stop here. What you want to do at that stopping point is, one, just observe the angle. How far can you go? Next, you want to observe what's stopping you. So where are you feeling stretch and restriction? You want to observe if it's in the hamstring. So is it behind the leg? Is it up near the butt? Is it behind the behind the knee? Is it in the calf all the way down the leg? It's going to be really important to distinguish where it is to find out what you're going to want to target. So there's going to be two groups of people. The first group of person is where the stretch is mainly in the hamstring. The second group is where they're having stretch in the hamstring, but maybe it's more intense behind the knee or up into the calf. Now that you've done your assessment and you figured out the range of motion of both of your legs and where you feel restriction or maybe sensitivity, we're gonna get into the first exercise. So for this one, we're gonna get up and we're gonna find a doorway. And just place yourself in the doorway. Now, if you are one of those people who doesn't have a lot of range of motion, you're gonna want your hips pretty far from the doorway. From there, we're gonna put one foot up, straighten the leg, and then match with your other leg. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna come down so that heel hits the ground, and we're gonna hold for a couple seconds. That's gonna put this leg on stretch. Then we're gonna come back up and just repeat. Now you'll find that this might start to loosen up a bit, and when it does, you're just gonna scooch a little bit closer and keep going. Now, if you are one of the people who was in group 2 who gets some sensitivity behind the knee or up into the calf, you're gonna wanna bend your knee a little bit. So instead of being locked, a little bit of bent knee when you do this in order to bring the stretch into the hamstring and out behind the knee. So however far you need to bend your knee to make that happen during this stretch works. Okay, so a big thing that we are thinking about here is we're just trying to expose yourself to a hamstring stretch and hop into positions that challenge the hamstrings, all right, and get rid of that sensitivity that you have to those positions. The next stretch is going to be particularly important for the folks in group 2 who get the sensitivity behind the knee and into the calf. The stretch is a simple calf stretch. So we're gonna walk over and we're gonna find, you could use a half foam roller. I prefer this, pretty cheap. Or you could just bunch up some towels. That'll work too. Anything you could just place your foot on. So what I'm gonna have you do is just place your forefoot on the foam roller. and lock the knee. From there, you're just gonna inch the other leg forward, really focusing on that locked knee until you feel a stretch. So it could be anywhere on this line here, right? Keeping that heel on the ground as well. Now, if you're someone who, as soon as you put the foot up, you feel a stretch, this needs some work, right? You need to put time in this position. Thinking about ideally over time of you doing this stretch, you're getting further and further forward, right? So for you, because you are restricted mainly in behind the knee and into the calf, you need to work on just lengthening those muscles and getting in there in order for you to even be comfortable in a hamstring stretch. And the last movement we're gonna do is the hip hinge. I really recommend the hip hinge because it actively explores the hamstring flexibility. So instead of a passive flexibility exercise, we're making everything active. Okay, so in order to do the hip hinge, we're gonna pop up to a standing position. I'll show you from the side. It's pretty simple. We're gonna just unlock the knees the slightest and keeping the spine straight, push the hips back, and you're actively trying to put these on stretch, okay? If you feel it behind the knee too much, just bend your knees a little bit more, okay? So repetitions of this motion and maybe some pauses down in that deep position are what you're gonna wanna do. Boom. All right, so the combination of those 3 exercises are gonna be really crucial for anybody who's just beginning to explore this hamstring flexibility and who experiences a lot of stiffness or that sensitivity feeling in the hamstrings. These are my go-to exercises for anybody who walks in with really stiff or really sensitive hamstrings. They're pretty simple, and if you're just getting into trying to unlock and give some freedom in your hamstrings, it's a really great place to start. Do them every day, give it a shot, and let us know what you think. All right, folks, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to Upright Health, share it with a friend who has really crappy hamstrings too, and remember that pain sucks, life shouldn't. Go. Go.